Oh man kids, it's here! A game I've been waiting for with fervor since it was announced in that PlayStation Direct. Developed by Freakzone Games, who might be best known for developing angry video game nerd adventures and ass simulation. Oh wait, no, Freakzone here is part of BitBot. The real Freakzone Games became Retrowave. I've retooled this script at least 3 times and gone so far as written about it twice because more and more info about the game itself has come out while writing it, and kids, what should have been a slam dunk despite its plot is one of the most disastrous modern revivals of a game I've ever seen. Why did this video take so long? I replayed the game on Nightmare. I've done 2 playthroughs of this game, which was wholly unnecessary, but it was mostly the script rewrites. It took me longer to rewrite this script than it did to beat it twice. Think about that. I'll tell you kids now, this game wasn't even hard for me on Nightmare. Nightmare is just as easy as any other difficulty. The game tries to be hard, but this is nothing like Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, a truly hard game. Well, if you're playing the original and not Deluxe. I think Deluxe is a way easier game than the original for all intents and purposes. Unless it's YOLO, fuck YOLO. If there is a game to compare it to, it's Duke Nukem Forever. DNF was a disappointment on a whole other level. It was a game that was in development hell for what, 14 years? DNF is bad, yeah, but there are worse games even for Duke Nukem. DNF also tried to reinvent the wheel for Duke games, and that went about as well as expected. Meanwhile, Legacy of Kain fans at least got closure with 2 cancellations in Dead Sun and Dark Prophecy, and 1 game shutdown in Nosgoth, which was a live service game. Dark Prophecy is a nice what-if story that got cancelled pretty quickly, 3 to 6 months in development. It would have featured a post-Blood Omen 2 Kain and Elder Kain. It would have expanded the Demon Realm and the lore of the Hilden. Dead Sun actually went through a development cycle, and fans found out about it. They weren't happy. It was a backlash more so for its cancellation than anything else really. It would have had a new main character duo for the series and would have taken place in the future far, far away from Soul Reaver, Raziel, and Kain, which probably would have been for the better if the game had come out. How exactly does Duke Nukem Forever compare? Because this franchise was so venerated, people were willing to wait 14 fucking years for a new game. Legacy of Kain fans were as well, but never got the soul-crushing punk that Duke fans did, till now. Let's start with the story, which I'll summarize with a dead meme from DNF.
Alright, step 1, Alpha Team straight up the middle. Blake, flank left. Phillips and I head around. That's step 2. Step 3 is,
Prophet?
Right! You ready? 1, 2, break!
You'll see why I use that as we go along, but I bet you'll be just as enraged as I was by the end. Legacy of Kain's themes about fate, destiny, free will, and even the hero's journey are abandoned or recontextualized for the worse 90% of this game. You'll see. We start with this unedited and jarring intro. Meet Olalith, this game's main character and whom the game's plot revolves around. She's the reason why the fandom is in a frenzy at the time of this writing and will probably be forevermore. I'll leave her motivation secret for now, but she's seeking Raziel out for reasons. Everyone who is alive from the previous games does bring a certain authenticity to this game, but Simon Templeman and especially Michael Bell sound their age for the most part despite killer performances. Having a gun back as Ariel for one scene seems wasted to me, and Richard Doyle is wasted on a glorified cameo. Elsie Lovelock and Darren DePaul actually play well off of Templeman and Bell. Too bad it's wasted in service of this game's god-awful plot. The game feels stiff but serviceable. It's not bad. You can't really short hop, but the game is designed around that, thank God. You also have a dodge, which can be used for an air dash. Attacking feels fine, and it's at least fast enough to kill enemies reliably. This parry though? The parry is overpowered when you master the timing. Whole hordes of enemies fall easily when you do. It is the BFG of this game. Which is kind of a weird thing to say for a 2D platformer. You know what? Never mind about that. Just never mind about that. One thing you do not want to do is attack in midair. Doing so cancels all momentum, and I mean all. You have 2 bars. One is a health bar, which increases with blood chalices collected. The other is a lore meter. No, I'm not kidding, that is what it's called, and you better find a way to keep track of that meter because it is basically a stamina meter. You also have to feed if you're a vampire because your health drains constantly, and it is, as you would imagine, a very tedious task. If you don't feed, you can't recover health, and oh yes, you can die from not feeding. If you're good at 2D platformers, you'll find all the charms in one playthrough. I never found one codex piece of the last Bloodshedless after my second playthrough, because I was done with this game. I found all the rune triangles, which seems intentional. This section also introduces Alayla's wings, which are the main reason why most levels have verticality. You can do a dive bomb, which is somehow more damaging than a sharp sword, sure. However, enemy movement can be random and enemies are fast unless they get trapped on a wall, which makes them easy pickings for feeding, or you could go for an easy snack with prisoners who are littered on the map, sometimes near secret.
They fly now?
They
fly now!
Using the wings is basically a time jump rather than a true double jump, and it takes a nice chunk of lore meter. Until you get that Skyborn charm, the timing is going to be strict and very unnatural. Getting the Skyborn charm later in the game gives you better control, which is a cardinal sin of game design. This isn't Sonic and the Secret Rings, and no, I'm not playing that game for footage. Enjoy the box art. We fight Raziel, and Alayla kicks his human ass.
This is for my beloved. This is for Matthias!
Oh no!
I am overcome. I know not when or where you will find yourself next, Lady of Thornlodge. But rest assured, I will locate you again.
So Alayla gets sucked into a time portal right before she kills Raziel because of a curse put on her by Mobius, which is a really roundabout way of saying we had to preserve the Soul Reaper game's plot, so have a convenient plot device. We take over as human Raziel. Let me tell you, this is the hardest part of this game. I know you're going to say the part with the cannons is, but it's not. This section nearly made me turn the game off when I first played it. It is, for the most part, a beat-em-up level. You have to light up these vampires to get them to stay dead, which is an extra step that's tedious. Here's how the first section ends. This next bit is easily doable by crouching and attacking. The only enemy that could give you a hard time are the swordsman thralls, which are easily taken out with the cinder urns and bad AI. Janos Audrin is an awful boss that is so Tyrell uses Mobius' staff. It's a tedious fight that's way too drawn out for its own good for the sake of adding game time. Afterwards, we reenact the ending to Soul Reaver 2 with an extra step, this horseback section, which sucks and wastes my time. So Raziel kills Raziel, and the next... oh wait, we have an Alayla level I always forget about. This level represents what you'll be seeing moving forward, and it's here I'd like to talk about the level design in general. Level design is either horizontal sections full of enemies that don't complement the very limited combat options, or vertical platforming that feels incredibly lifeless with little to no movement options which drain your lore meter very quickly, making them feel artificially difficult. It's weird because only one or two levels in the game feel alright to play, those being Kain's first level and Vampire Raziel's first level. Those levels complement those characters very well, especially with their movement options and with how different Kain plays compared to everybody else. We are also introduced to water. Water is obviously instant death even by merely touching it, because that's how water works in real life, don't you know? Anyway, it's bullshit. The game's physics are also incredibly unforgiving when you fall too, so if you fall from a great height, don't expect your wings to save you right above water. It's just not gonna happen. After Raziel dies, Alayla goes to the future to find the Heart of Darkness and meets a post-Blood Omen 2 Kain. Here she reveals her real goal, causing a paradox. Alayla, why do your motivations change on a dime? First it's revenge, now it's causing a paradox for your failed paramour?
You would do better to find a new, less pathetic paramour.
So Alayla reveals the location of the tomb of the Seraphan. Wait, what? You mean to tell me Kain never found it on his own? It was revealed to him by this walking retcon device? No, you know what? No. I'm not gonna get mad now. I'm saving it for later. One retcon to rule them all. You'll all witness my wrath. Anyway, we play a minigame that has admittedly beautiful PS1 style graphics, even if it looks like something more from the early Quake days instead, even well intentioned. It's basically a quiz you can't lose. I've tried. So Kain's level rules. The Soul Reaver kills humans in 2 hits on Nightmare and 1 hit on normal lower skills, complete with sword swinging sound from Blood Omen. He can use these bat totems, that's what I'm going to call them, for his bat form and to attack any enemy from afar. The best part? His dodge is his mist form. Beautiful. Kain is noticeably slower, but you won't even notice it all with the bat totems littering the level. Kain is so powerful, it almost makes up for how honestly dull the rest of the game is by comparison. It has the best single level track in the game, even if heavy metal and synth don't fit Legacy of Kain. There are tracks here that do, but Kain's level really doesn't, even if it is awesome boss music. Music was done by Cell Dweller, and you could tell very earliest level 1. This is easily the best OST Legacy of Kain has ever gotten. At the end of Kain's section is the worst boss in the game. If you repeatedly jump, you can instantly attack the boss. This is so crushing.
They Victus!
We see Kain resurrecting Raziel, and I have to ask, did we really need to see this? No, seriously, did we? I always cringe when I see Kain cut himself using the soul-stealing weapon to make blood drip to revive Raziel. Anyway. Alayla visits a vampire Raziel and tells him of his past and hers that you could piece together for the most part. She also recaps events you played through for the past 2 hours. I'll let Raziel sum up my feelings perfectly.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit?
We pursue Alayla through here in a mundane platforming section before she fucks off and forces Raziel to get wings, and this one act reinvents the series and turns Alayla into the girl who is the key to everything trope that people despise. She becomes a walking retcon, a walking, flying, fucking retcon that I hate with my absolute burning soul. I know the team here have reverence for this series because its writer, Josh Viola, has a Legacy of Kain tattoo, and people just don't get those except when they're drunk. Everyone here is at least a casual fan of Legacy of Kain. Everyone here loves this series. You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't think that because it's generated AI in this fucking shit. You wouldn't know that, right? BitBot actually being positive and trying to make this franchise work, but instead all it did was destroy its reputation with fans because it blamed them to the reception of the comic. Blocking fans on social media for even asking harmless questions and pretending everything is okay doesn't help matters at all. All you're doing is saying to the fans their voice doesn't matter. If anyone should be given credit for reviving this franchise, it is the community. More importantly, the Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remasters. BitBot can fuck off and suck a dick if they think they're gonna get credit for reviving this franchise they basically destroyed again.
Leech of the clouds, your fight shall end in cinders!
The last 2 levels follow the same level design formula, except one is horizontal and one is vertical for the most part. The second to last level is inoffensive, and the cannons add something to the lifeless platforming at least. It's just stuck in the middle of 5,000 soldiers. Neither of these are difficult, even on Nightmare, even if the demons take a pound of flesh when they hit you. We fight Alayla again, and she sends Raziel to Kain to show off his wings, which... come on, fuck off, game. The last level only has prisoners for Raziel to feast on, so have these blood orbs instead while dealing with fire demons from Soul Reaver 2. The last level really isn't that challenging outside of the fire demons, if I'm being honest. I hope you mastered the wings in that dive bomb because the last level is full of bottomless pits and hazardous floors.
To him, Raziel. Let Kain behold the power of your wings.
The sanctuary of the clans, seat of my lord's power.
Wait a second. Animation now? Really? Why not just use the PS1 style graphics like you did earlier? Or better yet, a full CG scene like the original Soul Reaper that is probably cheaper to produce today than using traditional animation? Whatever, I'm moving on. It is basically an abridged version of the Soul Reaper intro, complete with an extra step. It also comes with a synth remix of a song based on a band known for electronic music. Wrap your head around that. This last fight is pathetic. Really, really pathetic. I mean, it is a Legacy of Kain game, so of course it's bad. I'll let Raziel take it away.
My flesh. My envious brothers lust for my downfall. They will learn I am not yet defeated.
Enough of this!
So Kain casts Raziel into the abyss, but the Raven saves the pendant with his memories. Kain pursues it, and we get the game's real final boss in this epilogue, Elder Kain, who I was hoping we'd play as, but as stated before, Alaylath is the main protagonist, so...
What did you do to my brother?
Only what you knew I would do. I have delivered you the vengeance you were too weak to take yourself.
I'll show you weakness!
You pledged to show me weakness. Thank you for the demonstration.
Damn, Kain! Oh wait, that eye looks familiar. So is this a doing of the Elder God? Also, how does killing your walking retcon device cause a paradox? I ask this because if they dare try to retcon the Soul Reaper in any way being related to her, it's going to cause the fanbase to explode in anger, more so than this game ever did. We get a cameo by Tony J, and also... So that's it, Alaylath fucks off to the Demon Realm, where she'll totally fight and lose to Kain while he's stranded there during Defiance in the future. Whatever, man, this game was a total disappointment. It's not like DNF where DLC can offer hope and fix the problems of the main game. No, Legacy of Kain games don't work like that. The girl who is the key to everything trope died years ago. I cannot recommend this game to anyone. It's the modern DNF. It's not bad, sure, but this disappointment is going to hit like a truck even if you've only somehow ever played Blood Omen 2. I end this video with a quote that the fanbase has turned into a meme which I am grateful for.
I would choose Oblivion over this existence.
Nah, I can offer you one better.
Sometimes that is better.